Welcome to the Metaphysical Manifesting Podcast with intuitive lightworker, national speaker, metaphysical teacher, and best-selling author Lisa Kessler. What is it you want to manifest? Are you looking to increase your income, change careers? Maybe you want to manifest a new home or a new car. Are you ready to bring love into your life? You have come to the right place.
Hello, everyone. I'm so glad you're here today because if you need some inspiration for 2024, this is the perfect episode for you. So my mastermind client, Netta, had quite the 2023, and we talked on the podcast earlier in the year, but I wanted to talk to her again at the end of the year because her transformation has been miraculous. And if you need some inspiration, here it comes. I'll let Netta tell you all about it.
Hi, Netta. Thank you for agreeing to come back on the Metaphysical Manifesting Podcast to talk about your year, because in our mastermind group just last week, I did a podcast with a member of the mastermind, and she kept talking about how inspiring a certain member was. And she was totally talking about you because you really you changed your whole life basically in 2023 because you trusted the universe and you just went for it. And it's funny because we talked about recently your mantra for 2023 from your year ahead reading had been transformation. And can you just kind of give everybody a rundown? Where were you in January of 2023? And now we're at the end of the year. Where are you now?
Well, in January of 2023, I was just basically looking for some personal freedom because I felt trapped. Mm-hmm. I couldn't walk. I had to depend on others for a lot of my daily living activities. And at my age, it's just, you feel trapped.
Right. And you had an accident, didn't you? How did you end up having to be in a wheelchair?
Well, I fell on the ice February 23rd of 2014. So last year was my 9th year after, and it was looking like that's where I was going to be.
Right.
There was going to be no further progression. Because after 9 years, it right. Basically is. And then I got a new neurologist, and he's like, oh, no. Let's try this with this. And we're going to do these procedures until you get this done. And it's like, that sounds like a lot of work. And he goes, oh, and you're doing physical therapy too. Yeah. Physical therapy means, death.
It means it's going to hurt. Those people are mean.
Yeah. But the end result is what matters. But 2023 was a lot of hard work for me.
Mm-hmm. And you were in the mastermind all year. And I remember at the beginning of the year, you decided to make the dream a little bigger from just getting a handicap van to having personal freedom. And then as we were supporting you on your journey, you actually were able to get surgery, and now you've lost a small person. How much weight are you up to now?
I am down 97 pounds.
Oh my gosh. And in October, you made us all cry because what happened in October?
I walked for the first time in 9.5 years without any assistive devices.
Oh my gosh. I get teary-eyed thinking about it because you didn't even know that was possible because doctors told you that wasn't going to happen. But when you opened up for the universe that you wanted to manifest personal freedom, and you were willing to do the new neurologist and do the physical therapy and then do this surgery, and you just trusted the whole time, was so much faith and trust. And now you can walk like 2 miles now, right?
I am going to try and do a 5K next year.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm working on increasing the amount that I can walk at a time. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so incredible. And I'm so proud of you and all that you've accomplished this year, because the truth of the matter is nobody else could make it happen, but you had to have the faith that the universe had your back. And I remember, I think it was in June when the surgery kept getting delayed and you were getting really frustrated. I remember you sent me a message that it's just not going to happen now because your tests were going to expire and you'd have to start over. And it just seemed like, but we were all in the mastermind like, no, this has to happen. And we're sending energy. And how did that all end up working out?
Well, when they say trust divine timing, that it's not in your time, it's in the universe's time, that's a very hard concept.
Yes.
To really accept at the time, but you're grateful for the divine timing after it happens. So I will definitely say that if my surgery would have happened on schedule, a few things would have been almost impossible for me to do. Because of circumstances I was facing at the time. So waiting until September for surgery, I actually ended up getting a surgery twin that we rely on each other a lot. And if I would have went in June, had my surgery in June, I would have not had this surgery twin.
Yeah. And I remember you were doing physical therapy. And when you finished the surgery in September, you told me divine timing had my back because I wasn't strong enough in June, right?
No, I was not. I was not able to get out and even walk with my walker in June, like I was able to do in July and August.
Right.
To prepare for the surgery in September. Yeah, I was not doing all that prep work in May and April. I wasn't able to.
Right. You weren't physically able. Yeah.
So I think it was June, the first time I was able to get on a new step. And yeah, that would not have prepped me at all.
Right. So even though, it's really like, because I'm always coaching people that you can decide what you want and why you want it, but the universe is going to decide how it shows up and when. And I remember it was so frustrating in June because it seemed like, why isn't this happening? But I think in hindsight, because you allowed it to, work its way through, it really happened at the perfect time when you needed it to, right?
Yes, it did. And I got very, very, very lucky with my insurance company that I had been in communication with, the same representative. So when my paperwork came through finally to them, they were already aware of what was going on, was able to grant a, what do they call that? Or forbearance period.
Right.
And I just fell in that. So I didn't have to redo any of the testing.
Yay. Yeah. That
was due to my support in the mastermind group, that a certain somebody had contacted me and told me to make sure I'm staying in contact with my insurance company because they will be more able to help me.
Right.
Instead of trying to do retroactive work with them.
Right. I love that. And that's another cool thing about how the mastermind has evolved is not only do we have our weekly meetings where we visualize and we meditate and we check in. So there's a little bit of peer pressure to finish what you say you're going to, but it's having that Facebook group and making new friends who are all supporting each other, because I think that is powerful, because when we're manifesting, you have to keep in mind that when you change, it makes the people around you nervous, and some people just can't handle it. and they, exit your life. Some people, it just makes them nervous because we're all nervous about change. But when you start changing, sometimes there's people who want to hold you down. And so having that group of people supporting you who want you to grow, how did that impact you?
Well, I will say I went through some major changes, not only physically, mentally, and with relationships in my life. And if I didn't have the support of the mastermind, the original mastermind, clear up to the mastermind that the year ended with, I probably would have fell into a very deep depression.
Right.
Because
there was a lot of change. Yeah. And a lot of people couldn't handle the change that you were doing. Everybody's on their own path and they're all learning their own lessons. And it's just sometimes it's time to release people, and that can be sad and hard. And so it's nice to have a safe space where you can vent and also be supported, that you're not alone. Yeah. So I'm so glad that we could help you, through all of that change. We also, through the mastermind, there's an online classroom, and it has all kinds of different metaphysical tools you can learn to use, but there's also like meditations in there and all that kind of thing. How did having these different tools and like meeting your spirit guide and all that stuff, how did that impact you this year?
I will say that because I was in the original group, you walked us through the class until those first lessons were done. And I will say that was extremely helpful, because if I had questions, I didn't have to email you, even though I know I could have.
Yes.
I just waited until Mastermind that week, and we're like, some of us are like, well, what do you really mean by this?
Yes.
And you also utilized what we learned that week in our mastermind for that week. So we even did it, hands-on.
Right. And having those tools, is that something that you can lean on to support yourself as you move into 2024? Do you meditate?
I meditate now a lot, because I have my angels that like to scream at me. And when I mean scream at you, they continually put signs in your way. Or in my case, sometimes I literally hear, screaming, and it's like, okay, I'm listening now. I promise you, I'm listening. So it's like, okay. And I tried automatic writing. The first time I tried it did not go so well. About the 7th or 8th time I tried it, it actually worked a little bit better. It's not my favorite thing, but I do it every once in a while, especially when my guides during meditation tell me I need to try it again. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So I'm learning to listen, even if it's really hard to listen.
And you have some tarot and oracle cards, and do those help you? Do you pull a card when you need some added support?
Well, a friend of mine sent me Dreams of Gia tarot, and I will have to say that deck is the deck that has spoken to me the best.
Oh, good. Yeah.
So I'm really happy about that. I was able to pass on some of my tarot, a deck of my tarot I had, to my daughter.
Oh, good.
So because she was here for my surgery, and she was going through all my tarot, and she's like, this deck really speaks to me. And I'm like, then take it home.
Yay. I love that. And that's really cool too, is that you can pass on some of these things that you've learned to help support other people in your life. And that's what it's all about. Spread the light. Everyone should be living their best life, right?
Yes. Yeah, that is very true. And I learned a lot about crystals in the crystal section.
Right.
My preconceived ideas of crystals were nowhere near what.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Well, I love that you have all these tools now to help support yourself, because if anyone can attest to that manifesting is a marathon, not a sprint, it is you, because all year it was like your life kept changing step by step by step, and you made it and you did it. And I'm so proud of you and how far you've come. And I hope that how are you feeling reflecting back on your year? Do you feel like Superwoman sometimes?
Sometimes. If you look at January, skip the rest of the months and just get to December, it's like, what?
Right.
But if you look at it month to month, you will see all the hard work I had to put in every single day.
Yes.
And the trust that I had to learn. I mean, it was not an overnight thing.
No.
For me to learn trust.
No.
I think it was, what was it? May that I really started listening to my guides and the angels. And I had been in Mastermind that whole time.
Right.
So it's not like I just immediately started doing everything. No, that's not how it works. It is
not a sprint. Yeah, it takes a long time, a lot of work.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to put in the work and then also put in the trust. And trust does not come easy.
Right, right. For me, I think everyone is a work in progress, myself included, and trusting is the hardest part. When you are worried and you're stressed, it's really easy to forget that someone has your back and that it's always works out. And I don't have to know how it's going to work out, but I know it will. And that's very hard. And you really worked at it all year. And that also goes to show for anyone who's listening, if you have had an up and down relationship with manifesting, that's how life is. Sadly, it's not just, that you just keep going up. You go up and then you go down, and then you go up and you go down, because that's how life is. And I think that's where the Mastermind is a really nice support, so that you have a soft landing when you're on the down, and we can help, hold you back up. And I think that is a really great thing with the group, of knowing that you're not alone.
Yeah, and you may ask for something like I asked for personal freedom. I had in my head what that meant.
Right.
The universe had a totally different definition. And what you get is the universe's definition, not yours.
Right.
So when you're manifesting and you make it journal so that the universe can fill in those blanks, you have to trust the universe knows what it's doing. Yes,
for sure. And I also love that you really are an example of, if you will leave it open for the universe to show you what personal freedom can be, miracles can walk in, because you would never have known to even ask that I'm going to walk again, because they told you no. So you wouldn't have asked that, but the universe knew that was possible. And so when you opened it up to, I would like personal freedom, and then you got this new neurologist, and then you got these things, and you just kept going, okay, and moving toward it. So that's really the example that I love of that. Miracles can come when you're not so rigid about what you want. Make it big and let the universe fill that in, because usually we don't love ourselves enough, and the universe loves us a million times more, and it wants you to have that. The universe knew that you could walk again.
Yeah, and you have to trust divine timing.
Yes.
Because, like you said, it happens in the universe's way and time.
Yes, exactly.
And that, I think, with the Mastermind group is what helped me stay on track, because I kept getting reminded of divine timing. And it's the hardest thing to hear. It's the hardest thing to accept. but it is the best thing to accept once you get past.
Right, because you look back and you're like, whoo, I'm so glad it didn't happen when I wanted it to.
Yeah.
So I think maybe the lesson is learning that when things don't work out the way you want, that you can go, well, the timing's off.
Yeah.
It'll still happen, just the timing's off.
So, I highly recommend anybody who is even thinking about the manifesting group to join. Just join. You have to trust in the universe. And if you're thinking about it, the universe wants you to join.
I agree. If you invest in yourself, it's never wasted.
Yeah. So, and I started out just doing challenges and then I joined. So.
Yeah. And I'm so glad you did, because not only did your life change, but man, seeing you has been the inspiration. For everyone who was lucky enough to witness all of it, but also just for me personally, I'm so amazed by you, Netta. And so I hope that you always feel like Superwoman. Write down what 2023 was, so that anytime you're not feeling like Superwoman, you could go, I'm going to have no problem doing this. I walked again. What?
Yeah, it's hard work, especially when you deal with a brain injury like I have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But you're amazing. So thank you again for talking to me again here at the end of the year, because wow, what a year you had. I'm so proud of you, and I'm sending you all kinds of blessings for 2024. I know you're going to rock it, and I can't wait to see what's next for you.
Me neither. I'm like, especially with the year ahead reading, I'm really happy that 2024 looks even better than 2023, believe it or not.
Yeah, that's amazing. I know, but it's so exciting. Every time you hit a dream, it opens the door to another dream that you never would have thought was possible. So anything's possible in 2024, Netta. And thanks again for chatting with me. And thanks for the whole year. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. And it's been a pleasure being a part of the group.
Thanks so much for listening. We still have a couple of spots open in the Mastermind before we're full. So if you are interested, be sure to click that link in the show notes to set up a Q&A appointment, and we can talk about what you want to manifest for 2024 and how we might be able to help you make that happen.
Thanks for listening to the Metaphysical Manifesting Podcast with Lisa Kessler. If you have questions or comments, or if you'd like to work with Lisa to manifest your dreams, you can connect with her through her website at metaphysicalmanifesting.net. That's also where you can claim your free weekly tarot reading and manifesting tips. Make sure you subscribe or follow the Metaphysical Manifesting Podcast on your favorite podcasting site so you never miss another episode. As Lisa likes to say, we can make magic when we bring the universe into the equation. Remember, you don't have to do it alone. If you'd like more information about Lisa, Metaphysical Manifestation Mentorship, or the Manifesting Magic Mastermind, visit her website at metaphysicalmanifesting.net.